Hello, everybody. I'm doing something very different today. Let me start TikTok. I feel like this is where I heard all this drama from, so I'm gonna definitely make sure to go live on TikTok because I feel like that's where I heard about it from. That's where people want to talk about it, is on TikTok. So yeah, this is definitely something different than what I normally do, but this is something I really wanted to do because I've worked on a cruise ship, a couple of cruise ships, and honestly, like, after hearing about this cruise ship that was going to be going for 9 months, I was already like, oof. Look, my first cruise ship job was a 6-month contract that turned into a 7-month contract because they can't extend you. Whenever you get on the cruise ship, you can get extended. So I worked for 7 months. That was, hello XX Rooster. Thank you for the like. Welcome in. Being on a cruise ship working for 7 months was rough enough. Hello. Hi. Much less, I mean, I guess it's probably better if you don't work on it. You're probably like having fun because it's a vacation. But I was looking at the itinerary because I was really interested to see which direction they were going, what all they're going to see. And there's some interesting choices with how long they're staying in certain places. Which I'm going to go over a few of these that I've run into already and then run into more as we go, because I've only looked at the first leg, which is this Ultimate America's cruise, which is actually not a lot of North America. Most of it's South America, which is kind of cool. I feel like most of the people who did this cruise are going to be probably American. So, you know, if they're from America, they probably don't need to go see a bunch of it, at least North America. So, but yeah, so this first leg is the Ultimate America's cruise from December 10th to February 11th. So that's what, 2 months. I'm going to need to go get my water. I'm going to be talking a lot. I'm drinking my coffee, which has already gone cold because I've neglected it for too long. But yeah, so if you haven't heard any of the drama yet on TikTok or wherever, I saw one video about it, and now I have, like, my timeline is just full of it. Full of, like, drama from this cruise. Like, the first one I saw, this poor woman who is a woman of color, she was asked constantly by several people if she was staff. And they even was asked by a member of staff if she was staff. Apparently she got mistaken for staff by another staff member as she was getting back onto the cruise ship, which, oof. Knowing from experience of working on a cruise ship, that is not a mistake you want to make, because it usually means you're going to get in trouble. Like, usually that's not something you assume. Oh, thank you for the follow, Rooster. Welcome on in. Glad you came over from, I'm guessing you came over to TikTok from, did you come over to TikTok? What's that? I think that notification was from TikTok or from Twitch. Welcome in. Yeah, so I'd rather watch here. Yeah, I don't blame you. I prefer Twitch over TikTok as well when it comes to live stream watching. It's definitely more preferred for me. If there's an option, I switch over to Twitch immediately. Sorry, TikTok. It's just better. I'm sorry. The format for TikToks watching live is kind of poo-poo doo-doo. Yeah, welcome over to Twitch. Usually I play video games. This is the first time I've done a just chatting drama type YouTube video. But yeah, so this thing, yeah, you don't want to mix up people who are not staff for staff, especially if you are staff. Like, those people were like super rude to that poor lady, and she's just trying to enjoy this cruise that she spent thousands of dollars on. My dad went on a cruise and got invited to a party with the crew. He went and had a good time until someone says it's so nice to see one of us as a passenger. And then he realized he was from their country. Oh, that's so cool. They thought he was from their country. Oh, no, that's not as cool. Well, that's actually iffy. I know on the cruise ship I worked on, it was very much not allowed to have passengers in crew areas unless they were like a family member or a guest, because there's like very strict rules about that. So if you're a guest, or if you're bringing a guest into crew areas, you can get fired for that. Like, it's very serious. So hopefully nobody got in trouble for your dad going to the party with the crew. But that sounds like fun. The crew does know how to party. It was a long time ago, I'm sure. Oh, okay, that's fair. It was probably before all those rules got instituted. There's a lot of, that's the other thing. There's like a lot of people from many different countries working on a cruise ship. But 90% of the crew of the ship I worked on are Filipino. Like tons of Filipinos on the cruise ships. It's kind of like, I think it's like 90%, somewhere between 80 to 90% of the crew is Filipino on most cruise ships, or at least on the ones I worked on, which was really cool. It was interesting to be like, to really see, like, be immersed in so many different cultures at once that have nothing to do with you, you know. It was very intense. It definitely made me want to learn Tagalog, that's for sure, because it was like one of those like rare moments where you're in a place where you don't know what anyone's saying. You know, it's like, oh man, this is the culture shock thing, but it was kind of cool. I really liked it. But anyway, back on this one. So they've literally been traveling for less than 10 days. If you look at their itinerary, this is cruisemapper.com, which is like the best way to look at cruise stuff, by the way, if you want to know the itineraries and stuff. They are literally, it started on November 21st with a 14-day one-way from Los Angeles to Miami. Holy moly. So that goes all the way through the Panama Canal. Yeah, that went all the way through the Panama Canal. So it started in LA, goes down this way, and then, I accidentally clicked on the port. They had a 4-day round trip, perfect day getaway cruise. That was literally just from Miami to the Bahamas. Interesting. Then they have, okay, so it goes from a 4-day cruise to a 26-day cruise, one way from Miami to Buenos Aires. So yeah, this is the one they're on currently, right? So they're currently, what's today? The 21st. They're in Granada, which is okay. Like, that's the thing. When I worked on my cruise ship, we, the last month we did the transatlantic crossing all the way back from Europe to the Bahamas. So we went to a lot of these, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, Barbados, Grenada. I don't know. I got tired of it real fast, you guys. I had 6 months in the Mediterranean and then 1 month in the Caribbean, and I was tired of it after 2 weeks. But that's just me. I know a lot of people, like, I do like beaches, but that's pretty much all there is to do there, is just beaches. And everything's expensive. People are like, oh, the Mediterranean in Europe is expensive. No, the Caribbean is expensive. Like, I spent way more money in the Caribbean on food and restaurants and stuff than I ever did in Italy or Spain. Like, seriously, way more expensive in the Caribbean. It was crazy. But anyway, so they are currently in Granada, which is up here somewhere. No, down here. Granada. Down here in this little island. One of these little islands. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Granada. Yeah, so they're still in the Caribbean. So they've only been on this cruise for that long. like barely a month. They've been on this cruise for a month, basically. If they started in LA, right? Which I think some people, you can buy the whole thing. Like you can buy the whole 9-month enchilada, but you could also buy it in segments. So you could buy just like this first segment here, the Ultimate America's Cruise, or you could buy the Asian one, or you could buy the Mediterranean one. Like you can buy them in segments, or you could buy them all together. But apparently, one of the problems they're running into is that the people who bought it all together are getting treated like premium passengers. They're getting invited to like meetings and events that everybody else, the segmenters is what they're calling the people who only buy a section of it. They're not giving them any of this special treatment, which like I guess kind of makes sense in a way, because you're like, oh, these people spent a lot more money. But like at the same time, it's like, yeah, but these people also spent a lot of money to at least do this section. So there's like already a caste system in place for this cruise, and it's not going well. People are really pissed off about it. America's Cruise Digital Deluxe America's Cruise includes pre-order costume pack and deluxe costume pack. Yes, exactly. Season Pass 1 and 2. Exactly. There's DLCs for this cruise ship. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so already there's problems. They just started off. So I was looking at, the great thing about Cruise Mapper is it tells you exactly when they arrive and when they leave that day. So like, for instance, today they arrived in Granada at 8 a.m. This is the times for these are the local time. So 8 a.m. Granada time, whatever time zone that is. And they're leaving at 5 p.m. Yeah, 5 p.m. Which, by the way, they leave at 5 p.m. You try to get on that ship at 5:01. You better get a flight to French Guiana to go there the next day. But yeah, so that's I really like seeing this stuff, because in context for some of the stuff we're going to go over in the itinerary, it's really important to know when they arrive and when they leave. So yeah, there's well, let's take a look. So see, here's the thing is that Cruise Mapper showed the one going around, right? But according to this one, it starts in Miami, Florida. So if that's true, then the cruise totally only started on the 10th, which was 11 days ago. So that's even worse, because there's more problems happening now, even though it only started like 11 days ago. So the first part of this cruise looks pretty normal for Caribbean cruises, right? Ooh. Excuse me. I was looking at that. Hey, Modern. Okay. So. Okay. So the first part of this cruise ship itinerary looks normal. This is very normal Bahama cruise, right? They go to the Bahamas. Perfect day at Coco Cay. I think that's like that is Royal Caribbean's island, I'm pretty sure. They have their own island. Every cruise ship company has their own island in the like Bahamas. I'm pretty sure that's Royal Caribbean's. Then they have a sea day. And then they go to Cozumel, Mexico, which is cool. I like Cozumel. I went there on my very first cruise that I ever went to. And then they have 2 sea days. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, ABC. The ABC Islands are Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. They go together. They're literally called the ABC Islands. Cruising day, so sea day. Barbados, Grenada. This is where they're at right now in Grenada. I didn't like Grenada as much when I was there. I don't know. I enjoyed the first week of working on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. After that, I was ready to go home. But I was already at the end of my contract. To be fair, it was the very end of my contract. I was already extended a whole extra month. I just wanted to go home. So that might also be a part of why I was over it. Sea day, French Guiana. That's the thing. I'm sorry if I pronounce things wrong. Let me know. If you know how to pronounce them properly, let me know. I will do my best. Because I prefer to say things properly, but sometimes I've just never heard them before out loud. So if I say something wrong, let me know. I'll try to fix it and try to say it correctly. Cruising 2 sea days. And then they get to Brazil, which I've never been to Brazil. this is kind of a cool part of the cruise, right? You're going into South America proper. It's going to be neat. Go to Brazil. Great. Cruise another sea day. Another part of Brazil. 2 sea days. And then Rio de Janeiro, which is cool. I believe that's right on the coast. We can double check, though, that it's right on the coast. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you today. It's a fantastic... Oh, don't look at this. You're gonna see where I live. Oh God, don't look at where I live. Oh, hold on. There we go. Rio de Janeiro. I'm pretty sure it's right on the coast. Yeah. So they probably like port right into the coast here somewhere. And then, oh yeah, probably right in here. Port on in here. And then they take a day trip up to the statue. Yeah. So that's obviously doable. And then next day, Brazil, 2 sea days. And then Uruguay. Argentina again, beautiful, looks gorgeous. 2 sea days, and then Argentina again, another sea day. The Falkland Islands. Now, a friend of mine just went here, and he said it was gorgeous, so I believe him. That's the thing. So far, I'm not seeing anything weird on this itinerary. Right? It's fine. 2 sea days, and then they go to Antarctica. Like, what? They go to Antarctica? They go to this strait. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm not sure how to say it at all. They go to Paradise Bay, Elephant Island. So, like, I'm guessing they actually get to get off in Antarctica, which is wild. Now, it is January, which means technically it's summer. Because in the southern hemisphere, it is summer when it's winter up here. So it's probably not as icy. I don't know. I don't know what the... I don't have enough knowledge about Antarctica excursions. So I would assume that since it's summertime when they're there, it's a little more doable than if it was the winter. It just seems to me like I always thought of like Antarctica as being like an insane, like a crazy trip that like you have to take like for months or whatever, and you have to be prepared for it, blah, blah, blah. Apparently you can just go on a cruise ship to get there and it's not a big deal. It's a large cruise ship too. This is a pretty big one. It's not the biggest, but it's pretty big. Cape Horn, Chile, great. One of my friends, that same friend went here as well. Chile is really pretty. You've got the, what is it? That mountain pass up there. I'm drawing a blank for some reason as to what it's called. Yeah. Really awesome mountains and glaciers and whatnot up there. It's really cool. Argentina, Chile again, the fjords in Chile, which is pretty cool. I would honestly like that. A sea day, Valparaiso. Yeah. La Serena, cruise day. Arica, Chile, cruise day. Now here's where it gets a little, for me. Okay, so they get to Peru. Machu Picchu. Huge, like, intense, like, thing. You have to go to it. What, like, it's a bucket list thing, right? That's probably why it's on this cruise itinerary. It's only scheduled for 1 day. And then the next day is Lima, Peru. So they get into Pisco on Sunday, January 28th. They get there. Let's see what day it is that they actually get there. Or what time. I don't know if I can click on it. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, it's not actually letting me click on it. That's weird. Let me refresh the page real quick. Okay. There we go. Nope, not that one. This one? Yes. Okay. So they get into Pisco at 7 a.m. And it's there. Well, it doesn't matter. It's obviously, hey, Howsy. How you doing? Evening. It is noon my time, but evening to you, sir. Good, sir. I hear cruises. I'm in. Yeah, so there's apparently, if you haven't heard about this, Howsy, Royal Caribbean is doing a 9-month world cruise. They just started like 10 days ago, and there's already insane drama. Like there's a caste system set up. Like people are mad that they're being treated differently than others. Like it's 10 days in and everybody's already about to eat each other. Like it's crazy. So I'm going over the itinerary that they have, and we just got to where they're going to be in January and February, which is Peru. It's all of South America, but I'm specifically talking about Peru right now. So this is probably what's going to happen, right? So the people are going to get off the ship in Pisco. They're going to be bused or driven or flown even, maybe, to Machu Picchu. Actually, probably to Cusco, and then up from Machu Picchu from there. I'm aware of an ambassador cruise that's going to be 6 months starting in... Oh, okay. That's a big one, too. I wonder if there's going to be drama from that one. Which means that these people are not getting back on the ship. The people that are getting off to go to Machu Picchu are not getting back on the ship that night. They are going to have an overnight in Machu Picchu, then go to Lima the next day, and then get back on the ship in Lima. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because there's literally no other way to do this, right? So, so this is already rough, right? Like, I stopped when I looked at this because I was like, wait, my aunt just went to Machu Picchu last year, and it was like a 4 or 5 day hike that she took to Machu Picchu. So I was like, why? How in the world are they doing this in one day? So I was doing some research. Like, first of all, it takes, to get to Machu Picchu, there are several different ways, right? So from Pisco, you can take a bus and a taxi, or you can take a bus up to Lima and then fly to Cusco and then take the train up to Machu Picchu, which doesn't make sense to me. Why would they stop in Pisco if they were just going to drive them up to Lima? So I think this is how they're getting back. I think this is how they're getting back without the bus to go back to Pisco. I'll be lurking as a game. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the lurk, Howsy. So, the thing that makes the most sense to me is that they take a bus to Cusco and then take the train, because there's a train that goes from Cusco up into Machu Picchu. That train does take 4 hours, and the drive from Pisco to Cusco is 15 hours. Well, if you drive by car, it's 13 hours. So it's like, so all of the day in Pisco is not going to be actually in Pisco. This day is going to be traveling from Pisco to Cusco, because it's 15-hour drive, and they get there at 8 a.m. Right? That's what it said, 8 a.m. Pisco, 7 a.m. So they're going to be driving all day on a bus to get to Cusco. And I would imagine they're either also going to go the rest of the 4-hour train ride, because they're not hiking for 4 days, right? The options are you get either a train ride that takes 4 hours to get from Cusco to Machu Picchu, or you hike for 4 days. But since they're only there for 1 day, obviously they're not hiking. So, so these people are going to spend all day going from Pisco to Cusco, and then maybe a 4-hour train after that into Machu Picchu, sleep in Machu Picchu, and then spend... Okay, when are they leaving? That's the thing. When are they leaving from Lima? What? 7? Okay, I don't know if that's correct. It might just be weirded out because it's there for 2 days. Because it gets in on the 29th, but it stays for the 29th to the 30th. Because there's people in Machu Picchu. and it just says 7. I'm assuming it's not the leave time. I'm assuming that's the arrive time. So they unfortunately don't have the leaving time on here. That's a bummer. But so then people get to spend not very long, because how long is this flight? The flight is an hour and 20 minutes. So it's a, okay, 3.5 hour train ride back, an hour and 20 minutes flight, and then however long it takes them to get from the airport to the terminal, the cruise ship terminal. So that is roughly 5 hours of travel, maybe 6 if you want to pad it out, right? So that does give them the first half of the day. The first half of the day to spend in Machu. So not even a full day. Even if they take the train all the way to Machu Picchu the first day, and then they have the day starting in Machu Picchu, that's not a full day of Machu Picchu, which people suggest at least 1 day, if not 2 days in Machu Picchu to really get everything in. So that means these poor people are taking a 20-hour... Yeah, 20 hours, because it's 13 to 15 hours drive and then a 4-hour train ride. Not to mention the fact that this cruise ship has like 1,500 people on it right now, which isn't even the max that it can have. I think the max it can have is 2,500. So they're trying to bus 1,500 people at the same time into Machu Picchu, which maybe that's normal, but that's a lot. You guys, that's a lot. That's a lot of people having to get to one place that's really small. I mean, through small like roads and stuff. Like that's like a night. That's honestly, that's kind of a nightmare. A logistical nightmare. And then to only be able to spend a few hours the next day in Machu Picchu before you have to drive back to Cusco and then fly back to Lima, which I would guess that's how they're doing it, because it would make the most sense to get them there the fastest from Cusco, since there is an airport. But that's another thing. They're trying to fly 1,500 people in the same day from Cusco to Lima. Like, huh? That's so many people. That's such a logistics nightmare. So is that worth it? I don't know. Yeah, you get to see it, but you don't really get to experience it. You run in, you see it, you run out. That's basically it. So, yeah, I don't know about that. You guys. That seems like a bad time. I don't know. Okay, so... All right, so that's Machu Picchu, right? That was the first thing I looked at and I was like, huh? Because then I did learn about the train. That's the thing. I didn't know there was a train that took you in there much faster. I thought you had to hike to Machu Picchu. I thought there was no other choice, and that it took at least a couple days to hike up there. All right, so that was fun. Now we're into February. Ecuador cruise day, Costa Rica cruise day, Nicaragua 3 cruise days. Mexico, cruise day, Mexico, and then LA. All right, and then we get into the second leg, the ultimate Asia Pacific cruise. Let's see how this one goes. It starts off in Los Angeles. Ooh. And then you get 5 cruise days. You guys, ooh. So 5 sea days. We had 5 sea days when we did the transatlantic crossing. Now, granted, this was crossing the Atlantic in the winter, so it was horrific. Our ship got knocked around so much the anchor came loose and knocked a hole in the side of the ship. It was apparently not bad enough for us to have to stop sailing because they were able to patch it. But it was definitely a whole thing. It was bad. And exhausting. And every day you were seasick all day because the ship's literally like all day. So maybe it is winter, Pacific and winter. I don't know how bad the Pacific Ocean is compared to the Atlantic. But 5 days of sea days is rough, y'all. That's rough. It's probably a little bit better for the guests than it is for the crew because there's more for the guests to do. Us crew didn't have much to do on it, and so most of it was spent in our rooms being sick. Then they get to Hawaii. Okay, get to enjoy some Hawaii. And then 5 more sea days. Ooh. Oof. They got Maui, Kailua Kona, and Honolulu. Only a day each. That's kind of sad. Not a lot of time spent in those specific places. But I guess it's normal for cruise ships to stay in one place each day. So what are you going to do? But then 5 more sea days. Ugh. I don't know if 3 days at the islands is enough to cover for in between 10 sea days. Like, ugh. Then you get to French Polynesia. 2 different islands in French Polynesia. Then you get... Oh my god. Then you get 6 more sea days. People are paying money for this. Like, I understand it's gonna take some days to get across some of these, the Pacific Ocean, right? Oh, if you get seasick even a little bit, you do not want to go on this cruise. But then you get to New Zealand. That's pretty cool. 2 days in 2 different locations of New Zealand, then 2 cruising days, then Australia for 2 days, another sea day, another Australia, another sea day, another Australia, 2 different Australias in a row. Oh, and you get to go to the Great Barrier Reef. That's pretty cool. That's really nice. I like how they have like little tokens next to some of the like fancy things. And then you get 4 more sea days. Ooh, where you get to Indonesia. That'd be cool. I've never been to Indonesia. Then 3 more sea days. Then the Philippines. You actually get to go to the Philippines. That's amazing. I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of Filipino workers on the cruise ship, so I bet they'll be happy. Like, they never get to go to places where their home is. That's cool. Not on cruise ships usually. Philippines, 2 separate days in the Philippines. Sea day. 2 different days in China. That's pretty cool. That they get to do an overnight in China. So overnights don't happen very often with cruise ships because it's so expensive to dock overnight and to stay. Like, the longer you stay at the port, the more expensive it is. And if you overstay, like if you stay too late, then there's a huge fee that cruise ship lines will get if they go over, which is why they're going to leave your ass behind if you're late, because they aren't going to pay the $2,000 fee they have to pay for staying late, for staying 5 minutes late. They're going to leave your ass behind. Be there early. Don't get left behind on a cruise ship, y'all. It's not fun. I've literally seen videos of people running to the cruise ship and they literally like pull the gangway away from them as they're like almost about to reach it. And it's like, we can't stop. We're already pulling away from the thing and it's not safe for you to hop on this ship while we're moving. We can't let you get on now. Like, it's not safe. You can't just jump onto the ship. Like, that's not how it works. Get there early. Don't get left behind. China, more China. Cool. And then Japan. Wait. So one of the like things I saw for this, yeah, like it's right there, the Great Wall of China. When are they doing that? You would think like it's literally right there in their little blip right here, right there. Where is that at? Is it when they're in Hong Kong? Or when they're in... No, it's got to be when they're in Hong Kong, right? Because they're there overnight. Right? Why does it not show up like they did with Machu Picchu? Hold on. We're gonna do some more maps. Great Wall of China. Where are you? In comparison to Hong Kong. Okay, so there's the Great Wall of China. Holy shit. Where's Hong Kong? That's closer to Beijing. Hold on. Hong Kong. Hong Kong is way the fuck down here. Maybe they're going to it later. Maybe, okay, so that's probably, since it's so far down south, they probably go to Taiwan, Japan, maybe South Korea, and then they go up in there and they go to, maybe it's later. It's probably later. I didn't realize how far away it was from Hong Kong. Learn something new every day. China's big, y'all. China's a big country. So Japan, they go to Okinawa. Wait, that's it? They literally go to Ishigaki and Okinawa and that's it? You know, that's kind of disappointing, but it makes sense actually now that I'm thinking about it, because I think this is one of those mega ships, the mega cruise ships. A lot of these bigger cruise ships can't port in some of the places in Japan and some of these other Asian ports because they're too small. The ports are too small. They can't handle a big ship. So I guess Ishigaki and Okinawa are the only places they can actually port, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, it's cool that they get to go there at all, but I don't know, as somebody who really wants to go to Japan one day, only being able to go to 2 places in Japan on this huge ass cruise is a little disappointing. That's why I'm not the target audience for this this cruise. Also, it is way out of my tax bracket. Okay, then they go to South Korea. Great. 3 different days in South Korea. Awesome. More than Japan. But, you know, South Korea is cool too. Cruising day. There we go. Great Wall of China. There they go. The Great Wall of China. And then Beijing the next day. So this is probably 2 days to account for travel as well, because it did look like the Great Wall of China was pretty far from Beijing. Also, they have to get to Beijing. Like, Beijing is not on the coast. So that means they must port and then travel everybody to Beijing. Ugh. This whole, like, logistics of getting people from the port to the cities and to these things is, like, not something I want to do. Okay, so where's the cruise ship port? It's going to be somewhere here, right? It's going to be one of these things that are sticking out. Hold on. Sometimes you can just search cruise port and it'll... Yeah, there we go. International Cruise Home Port. There we go. That's where it's going to be. To Beijing. Oh, it's only 2 hours. Okay. It looked a lot bigger than Peru did. So I thought it was going to be another 15-hour drive. It's only 2 hours. Okay. And then from Beijing to the Great Wall of China is 1 hour. 2 hours rounded up, right? So that's not too bad. So that means they can get everybody into Beijing or straight to the Great Wall of China within like 4 or 5 hours. That's not bad from the cruise port. So yeah, they get there at, let's see what time they get there. Oh, see, this one says they go to a lot of different places. Hold on. There's some differences between what this says and what the itinerary says on Cruise Mapper. And Cruise Mapper tends to be correct. So I'm more apt to believe Cruise Mapper. So that's really interesting. Oh, okay. So the first leg, they only go twice, 2 different places in Japan, down here. But they're going to go back to it later. Okay. So the end of this one is arriving in Beijing. Okay. So, and then okay, hold on. They arrive in Beijing on the 8th, and then they leave on the 8th. That's not right. That can't be right. If they're spending 2 days... It says that they get there on the 7th. And this is saying they get there on the 8th. That might... You know what? This might be a little bit off because I don't see anything for the 6th or the 7th. So maybe they're a little off because there's a sea day in between. Interesting. The discrepancies between Cruise Mapper and what they're saying on the website is very interesting to me because Cruise Mapper is usually pretty correct. But I guess this can be explained with the sea day being in between and maybe something got wonked out. Okay. So they are leaving on the 8th at 4 p.m. So they probably get there to see the Great Wall of China on the 7th, go back to Beijing, stay the night in Beijing, and then drive back. They actually also... Well, no, because it is 2 days. I'm like, they could just bus them all the way back to the ship and make them stay on the ship. But I would imagine that since they have a whole other day, they're doing this overnight, that they are actually like going back to Beijing and staying the night in Beijing. All this logistics though, like you got to bus people to these places. And then if you're staying overnight, you got to get them all hotels for 1,500 plus people. Or more because the ship holds 2,500 guests. It's just a lot, y'all. I don't know. That's so much work. I would not want to be the person doing that job. Okay, so then they have a sea day. Then they go to Nagasaki, Kagoshima, Tokyo. They spend 2 days in Tokyo. They go to Mount Fuji. And then they go to Osaka. Okay, so that's better. That's more of like what I would expect out of a Japanese cruise. It's weird that it's on 2 separate cruises though, right? Like if you booked these cruises and you wanted to go to Japan and South Korea, for instance, you would have to pay $1,400 and $1,600, 2 separate prices for both of these cruises. If they even sell them separately like that. I know they sell them in segments, but it might be that you have to buy the whole Asian cruise or the whole South American cruise. So you might have to buy them all anyway. But it is interesting that they have the separate prices for each individual leg on Cruise Mapper. For Seeing the Wonders of the World is a short excursion package. I don't think everyone goes. Oh, wow. Okay. So not only are you spending so much money on this, like, then it costs extra to go see the stuff. I mean, that's how it is on a normal cruise, right? Like you pay for the cruise, and then if you want to do the excursions through the ship, it is extra. Like on the Alaskan cruise I worked on, it was like a $900 extra excursion if you wanted to go on a helicopter to see the glacier. Which is a lot, but that's like the whole point of this cruise. This is a very specifically different kind of cruise, right? I would have assumed completely incorrectly that if I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars, like 60 grand on a whole cruise, that it would be included. If you book the world cruise and are platinum or above, the world excursion is free. Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing that they were talking, like the platinum guests were the ones that were getting their special treatment. Oh, okay, let's look, you know what, real quick, let's look at the prices, right? I wonder if there's 4 segments. Oh, you have to call to reserve. Okay, hold on. I wonder if they have the price breakdown somewhere. Hold on. I really want to know what the price is for all of these individual things. Because this just seems wild. Okay, maybe it just explains it here a little bit better. Okay, so you can choose like the segments or you could do the whole thing. Dive deeper into the world's wonders. Okay. They got the Americas, the Asias, the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and Europe. Oh, there's the route. Oh, they're going through these straits here. That makes sense that they would go through these. This is I feel like that's not the safest place to be. Maybe it's not as dangerous as I think it is, but I just remember when we were doing our cruise in the Mediterranean, the closer we got down to this area, the more like warnings we got about like, watch out for these things. It's like, oh. And then they go up here into Europe and then they go up to Greenland and Iceland and come back down. Okay. Interesting. Okay, but what about the rest? Can I see like the rest of it? I want to see all of these little things and what they're going to go see. Interesting. Segment details, view itinerary. Wait, they're going to go to the Taj Mahal? The Taj Mahal is like nowhere near the coast from what I understand. I'm going to have to look into that too. That doesn't seem... That seems like it's going to be a lot. Oh, and they're also going to the... Hold on. The pyramids of Giza in Egypt? Damn. Okay, here we go. Amenities included in your entire adventure. Join us for the entire Ultimate World Cruise. You'll enjoy exclusive perks and amenities, all included in your adventure, so you can complement back-to-back discoveries on shore with all your favorite comforts on board, plus thoughtful touches to elevate every moment. So these are the things that you do get: business class airfare, premium transport between hotel, airport, and ship, free cruise, hotel, and gala. Oh, you went to a fancy gala right before you got on the ship. 7 new World's Wonders shore excursions. So these are included in it: deluxe beverage package, laundry, gratuities, and the internet. So all of that's included if you bought the whole shebang, right? But then if you didn't, you got to pay extra to like go on the excursions. Whew. Whew. All right. Let's take a look at the ship since we're on this, including via ferry and bus from Cozumel, Christ of the Redeemer via train and or bus, Machu Picchu via flights, train, and bus. So it is flights, train, and bus. Okay. And or surrounding ports of call, the Great Wall of China via bus from Beijing, Taj Mahal via flight. Yeah, the Taj Mahal is going to have to be via flight from what I understand. I don't think it's anywhere near the coast. We're going to have to look at that too when we get there. So train from Cochin? I can't say that right. Cochin? And or Mumbai. Petra via bus from Aqaba. And the Colosseum via bus from Rome. Yeah, the Colosseum is, I think, like most of Rome itself is like literally about an hour and a half, 40 minutes train ride from the port. But it wasn't too bad. Most of the time that we were in that port, it was very doable because we were there for like 8 hours. I don't want to sign up. Serenade of the Seas. Oh, let's look at the YouTube video. Oh, wow. The buffet. The teppanyaki. They got golf. And shows, yes. Oh, boy. Oh, that's it? Okay. Okay. Oh, look at all the different things you can do. Okay, so anyway, back to the itinerary. So yeah, okay, if you buy the whole package, then all the itinerary, all the excursions are included. But if you didn't, you have to pay extra for them. So yeah, you might be finding your own way to China instead of doing it through the ship. But good luck doing that all by yourself when there's 1,500 other people trying to do the same thing. I don't know. Maybe that's normal for a bigger things like that. You know, like it's big touristy, so lots of people are trying to go there every single day, probably. But then they stay in Beijing. Then they go back to Japan. They go to a bunch of places in Japan. 2 days in Tokyo. They go to Mount Fuji, Osaka, and then they have 4 sea days. Then Vietnam. That's cool. I've never been there. That'd be really cool to see. Sea day, Singapore, Malaysia. That's cool. And then 2 sea days, Sri Lanka for 2 different days. That's really cool. Okay, and then here's the Taj Mahal. All right. So they're probably leaving from Colombo, Sri Lanka and flying to the Taj Mahal. But then they leave on May 1st because the next day is a sea day. Okay, let's see where the Taj Mahal is. We're also learning a lot about, like, geography, you guys. This is a great, this is a learning experience, right? You get to learn about geography and where things are. Oh. Okay, Taj Mahal is all the way over here. Let's zoom out until we see water. Yeah, holy moly. It is nowhere near. It's like literally as far as you can get inland almost without getting to the freaking Himalayas. Woo! Okay, so yeah, they're taking a flight to the Taj Mahal, definitely. What was the... They were in Sri Lanka. They weren't even in India. Where's Sri Lanka? It's down here. Damn, so they're flying from way down here all the way to the Taj Mahal. Let's look at this and see if there's any sort of hint as to how this works. Okay. Because all this, okay, so all this says is it goes from Sri Lanka, Taj Mahal, Goa. So probably what's happening is okay, so it's probably they're not flying from Sri Lanka. They're flying from Cochin, which is here? Yeah. So they're going to fly from here all the way up to the Taj Mahal and then fly back to Goa? That's... Because, like, they don't even have Cochin in here. So that's what I would want to know is, are they flying? It's probably Kochi. It's spelled with a K here. Should be spelling it with a K, probably. I wonder exactly how this works. If they're flying back to Goa? Oh, but they don't... Well... How long is that flight, I wonder? Okay, so they are flying from Cochin. It says it in the thing here, right? It says, yeah, bus and or train. And or. the Taj Mahal via flight, bus, and or train from Cochin. There's no way you're taking a bus or a train from all the way down here to all the way up here. They're flying. They have to. There's like no way, right? Okay, let's look at Google Maps. Maybe I'm once again not knowing the distances, right? Let's see. Okay, driving is 43 hours. So they're not driving or taking a train. There's like no way. Train is 2 days. They're gonna fly. And the flying takes 6 hours. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna drive from the bottom of India to the top of India in 1 day. Okay. So 6 hour flight from Cochin. I'm probably not saying that right. If you guys know the proper way to say it, Cochin, I don't know. Let me know. Because I feel like Cochin is not proper at all. It doesn't sound Indian, at least to me. I don't know. It sounds like I'm very white. So it goes to the Taj Mahal. 6 hours. So I would imagine that since the ship is arriving in Cochin, I'm assuming it means flight plus bus and or train. Yeah, probably. That's probably right. Because there's no way they're driving that far. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they get into Kochi. They get into Kochi at 1 p.m. and they're leaving. The ship's leaving at 11 p.m. So, yeah, they're not coming back that same night, I don't think. Because that is... that's almost 12 hours flight. It's over 12 hours just for flying. Yeah, they're not coming back that same night. Not that excursion anyway. So that excursion is probably going to skip the sea day and come back to Goa and get back on the ship in Goa. That's what I would guess, because they're definitely not coming back the same day. That is a long ass flight. Or since they're spending 2 days in Mumbai, it's very possible they're not coming back to Mumbai. I wonder if there's a... Hold on. Because I'm really curious. Is there a page that shows all of the different excursions? Because then it would tell you how long each excursion is and how it works. Usually. So I'm very curious. Okay, they're talking about the... Huh. Yeah, let me see. This one's very different because, like, usually if you look at a cruise, right, and you're like wanting to reserve it, you can like look through each segment and see like what all our excursions are offered. But since this one's so specific, oh wait, here we go. Oh, here's all the prices. The starting price. For an interior stateroom. If y'all don't know, interior means small, no windows. And that's 13 grand per person. For just the Americas cruise. For just the Americas cruise. And if you want an ocean view stateroom, which is going to be the same size about as the interior stateroom, it's just you're going to have a little porthole so that you can see out the window for about $1,400 more per person. And balcony stateroom is 18,000. Almost 19,000 per person. All these prices. Oh my God. Like, I knew it was a lot. Holy shit. The Pacific cruise is even more expensive. The Middle East and Mediterranean cruise is a little less than the Asian one, but more than the Americas. And the Europe and beyond is almost the cheapest, but not as cheap as the Americas. Interesting choices for the price here. Do we have the price of like the whole thing? I'm really curious. So guests who join us for the entire cruise will receive the following: embarkation amenities, round-trip business class airfare, pre-cruise hotel and gala, premium transports between airport, hotel, and ship, onboard amenities, deluxe beverage package for entire voyage, boom Wi-Fi internet for entire voyage, gratuities for entire voyage, wash and fold laundry service. Our Crown and Anchor Society guests who hold platinum status and above will also receive the exclusive benefit of included excursions to the 7 New World. Hold on. So it's not even... Hold on. You could buy the ultimate rule. You can buy the entire thing and still not be able to get included excursions. It's only the Crown and Anchor Society guests who hold platinum status and above. I wonder, though, if you're able to purchase the entire thing, that's probably enough to get you platinum status, I would assume. But it's wild that they specifically say it's only the Crown and Anchor Society guests who hold platinum status and above will also get the excursions to the 7 New World Wonders. That leads me to think that even if there's a possibility that even if you buy the whole thing, if you could still not be a platinum status, and you still won't get those included. I don't know if that's... I don't know. That seems... I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay. Oh, here are the Royal Caribbean's Ultimate World Cruise prices. Interior stateroom from $60,000 per person. Ocean view stateroom, $65,000 per person. Balcony stateroom, $82,949 per person. Junior suites from $117,599 per person. This is such random prices. Royal suite from $760,000 per person. What? I didn't even want to work on a cruise ship for 6 months, much less 9. And these people are paying $760,000 per person for 9 months. I mean, obviously there's a difference between working a cruise ship and going as a vacation. What? Huh? I have no words. And that's the thing. Y'all want to see what inside of hold on. Royal? We'll do Royal Caribbean specifically. I can't spell Caribbean. Interior room. Oh, and that's a nicer interior room than I've seen before, too. Hold on, let me just look at images. I don't want to go to a YouTube video. This one has... Some of them will have twins, and some of them will have full-size beds. But the full-size beds are just twins that have been stuck together. They're not a full-size mattress. Just so you know. That's how cruise ship beds work. So this is a very nice interior stateroom. Some of them will also have bunk beds instead if it's a 4-person interior. But like they do, like some cruise ships do sell 4-person interior rooms, and you have this plus bunk beds above these other beds. But and this is an interior room, but this is like an upgraded interior room. That's not like what they normally look like. I'm trying to think of like a good example. It's like this one's going to be one with a balcony, right? That's a balcony room right there. This is like an interior room. This might be the kind of interior room layout they have for that kind of ship, just because it's such a big ship. But honestly, like the room I stayed in when I did a cruise with my family, it wasn't Royal Caribbean, but it was about the size of this room, but it cut off here, and the bathroom was right here. And the bathroom was literally just a shower with a toilet in the shower, basically. Oh yeah, there's a person for scale. So imagine, if you will, being in this tiny room for 9 months and you paid $60,000 to do it. Now, if you want a balcony, this isn't even a balcony room, I don't think. It looks like it's just a window. It's kind of hard to tell. It could be a balcony. But, yeah. So that's what you're paying for. I can't find the price of the excursions. Yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to find the excursion prices. Because usually when you go on like a cruise ship website and you look at the cruise for that week, you can actually go and see like a list, like a menu basically of all the excursions they're doing. But not for this one. And I would imagine, because that's the thing, it was $900 to do an excursion to the, what do you call it? To the glacier in Alaska. It was $900 to do a helicopter ride to the glacier. If you're taking a flight to the Taj Mahal, it's gonna be probably a couple grand for that excursion. And that's on top of the 60 grand that you paid. Or for the specific leg, on top of the, let's see, the Asia or Middle East and Mediterranean, the 15 grand you paid. Oh, and that's if you were cheap and did the interior stateroom. Holy moly. Okay. Wow. So the Taj Mahal is going to be a rough one because you got to fly all day. It's going to be kind of similar to the Peru one, the Machu Picchu one. You don't get much time there and you got to spend all day traveling to get there. Oh, wow. Okay, 2 days in Mumbai. That's why they probably come back to Mumbai instead of going to Goa. So that means you miss a whole port. I mean, that happens sometimes. 2 sea days, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And that's it for the South Asian one. Which one was this one? This was just an Asian. Yeah, this is the whole leg. Okay, yeah, that's the whole Asian leg. Okay. So that's the Asian leg. Now we're into the Middle East and Mediterranean. Starting off with Dubai, where we left off in the last one. 2 sea days. Ooh. Salalah, Oman. I don't know where that is, but it looks nice from this picture. It's got like some camels sitting in some really pretty water. 4 sea days. And then Petra. That's a cool thing. I would love to go see Petra, honestly. When we did on our cruise, our Mediterranean cruise, we got 3 days of a stop in different Israel ports. And we did think about going to Petra because it was technically doable, but we were like, we should probably not cross any borders. We decided against it. We're like, let's not cross any borders. But Petra is something I definitely would want to go see. Now that's not like a port you can go into though. I wonder which port they're landing at for that. Oh, is it a port? Where is it? 2-3? It's got to be up here. Right? That's Jordan. Yeah. Okay. So they're landing at Aqaba, and then they're gonna drive to Petra, which is definitely doable. I didn't realize there's like this water that shot up all the way up here. Because I was thinking about like when we stopped at like Tel Aviv, and we were like thinking about it, but we're like we should not cross the border. But yeah, let's see where that is exactly. Aqaba. I guess it's here. Wadi Musa. Huh. Okay. It's here somewhere. How long of a trip is that? From Aqaba. Oh, it's only an hour. 2 hours. That's not bad. That'd be pretty cool. I would like to go there. We did try to kind of go there, but it didn't, not really. Hold up. I want to pull up some different music. Just put in some stream beats in the background. I did have Christmas music going, but I got kind of tired of it. Just have something in the background. Okay, so yeah, they're there all day, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that's probably just a stop in port, get bussed over there, see the thing, come back. Yeah, that's a doable day thing. Then they get to go to Egypt. That's pretty cool. 2 sea days, and then the Great Pyramid of Giza. Let's see where that's at. Ooh, pretty far inland. Where are they landing at? Alexandria. Oh yeah, landing here. So Alexandria to Cairo. How long of a drive is that? 2.5 hours? That's not bad. 2.5 hours. So that... And they get 2 days there. That's not bad. Because then they probably leave the second day. Yeah, May 21st to May 22nd. Nice. And then they go to Cyprus. We went to Cyprus twice on our... Oh, this is a specific spot only for Royal Caribbean. Ooh. We went to Limassol. I only got to go there once of the two because I had... what's it called? There's this thing on ship. My brain's blanking right now. There's a thing on a ship where you have to have a certain percentage of the crew members on the ship at all times. Because of this, we had days that we had to rotate around and we each had our own color. And if you were red, you couldn't get off on red ports. If you're blue, you couldn't get off on blue ports. And they changed it, like it was a daily rotation instead of like a not every port was always a blue port, you know. In fact, they specifically changed it so that it's not like that, so that you get the chance to get off in the port next week or whatever. Cyprus, I only got to go once because one of the days was my rotation that I couldn't get off. But the unfortunate thing about cruise ship life, right, is that if you aren't doing excursions, some places are not as enjoyable as others. Because you have to drive or get transported to some of the places that are more interesting to look at. Cyprus was one of those. We went and walked to a restaurant and ate at a restaurant, but there's so much cool there's so many cool like historical stuff. So much cool historical stuff in Limassol and in Cyprus that we didn't really get to go see because we weren't going to pay a taxi $80 to go to the thing and then come back and hopefully make it in time before we left. So that's the thing. Like some ports, it was easier to do that than others. Like for instance, Civitavecchia and Rome. Rome was like an hour and a half away by train, but train was easily accessible. It was easy to get to. You could just hop on it, get out of there, go down to Rome, spend a few hours there. And we were there for a long time every time we went there. So we had plenty of time to go to Rome. We didn't always go to Rome. Sometimes we just went to the little town and like did some shopping or like went to a restaurant in town if we weren't feeling like going all the way to Rome. It's in some towns it's easier than others to actually go and explore. But yeah, would have been nice to be able to do that in Cyprus. We didn't really get a chance to, so I didn't have as much fun there as I was hoping. Athens, Greece, 2 days there. That's pretty cool. Ooh, Temple of Artemis and Ephesus in Turkey. Ephesus was really cool. I got to go there. I know that that's definitely a doable thing to do in a day because we did it. We only had like, we did not have a lot of time in Turkey that day. It was a very short stop and it started at like 6 a.m. We got up, we got out there, and we got to go to Ephesus for a couple of hours and then come back and get right back on the ship. But so I know that that is doable. We did it with a very limited time window. So Sea Day, Bulgaria, Romania, back to Bulgaria. I don't know anything about Romania or Bulgaria. Cruise Day, another Turkey Day. Ooh, look at this mountain pass. That looks so pretty. Cruise Day, Istanbul for 2 days. That's awesome. I loved Istanbul. I wish we had had more time there. We only got two. There were 2 different days and they were not back to back. So we only got 2 separate days in Turkey. Turkey was difficult to get into though, because if you want to get in to see the good stuff like the mosques, the Great Bazaar, the underwater cistern, stuff like that is like in the center of the town proper, and the cruise port's pretty far away. The only way to get there is by taking taxis, and the taxis in Turkey will rip you off. Like they are really bad about ripping you off. In fact, they're so bad. The first time we went there, we got in a taxi with a guy who wasn't ripping us off, but they literally had like the police have like a stop where they stop people randomly, and ours got stopped, and the police were like, he's not trying to charge y'all extra than the, because you do it through Uber. All the stuff is done through Uber, and you're supposed to just do like what Uber charges you, right? And so, but sometimes people, and we had problems with this trying to come back, is that people would try to charge extra other than what Uber was. And if you said no, they declined your Uber and went on to the next person. So it was a problem. It was a pretty big problem. But the poor first guy pulls us up. We get pulled over by a guy who isn't trying to rip us off. We're like, no. He isn't trying to. He's not asking for extra money. He's not doing it. He's fine. He's cool. But yeah, Turkey was. I really liked it. They had amazing food. They had amazing cultural stuff. Like we went to the Blue Mosque. We went to the cisterns. We went to see some really cool stuff. The food was so good. I had friends that we all went to the Great Bazaar. That wasn't my thing because I have too much anxiety to haggle with people. But I had some friends that I went with that they loved it. They enjoyed it amazing. They loved it. And I was like, ooh, but really like Turkey overall was amazing. And I wish we had had more time there. So 2 full days back to back. That's not bad. Although, you know, that's the thing with this World Cruise thing. A lot of these stops, you're there for 1 day, 2 days at the most, and then you move on to the next thing the next day. At what point does it all become a blur? You know, at what point do you just stop being able to process everything because it's just too much, right? Like you're like, oh my God, I was in Greece yesterday, now I'm in Turkey, and what's like, at some point, I feel like personally for me, it would be too much and I wouldn't be able to enjoy it as much because it would be like your brain just like, whoa, and you can't process it. And then the next thing you know, you left Romania 3 weeks ago, but you don't even really remember what you did. Like, you know, it's like, it might be too much all at once. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it would be too much. It was almost too much for me doing it on working a cruise ship, but it definitely helped that I was working it so we would go back to the places over and over again, and you'd really get time to enjoy each place, other than like Turkey and Israel because we were only there like once. There was only 2 cruises technically with those 2 places that we went on. So back between Greece and Turkey. Mykonos. So I'm so disappointed about Mykonos, y'all. I never got to go to Mykonos when I was doing our Mediterranean cruise. We stopped there a couple of times. The first time we stopped there, we were going to be there from like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or it's like 7 a.m. It was really early in the morning and we were leaving at like 2 p.m., which meant we had to be back on the ship by 1 p.m., right? And we had just worked the night before. I was exhausted. I was like, you know what? We're going to be at Mykonos 3 other times. The next time we're going to be there, it's going to be in the evening. I'm not going to go today. I'm going to go next time. That's what I said, right? The next time we're supposed to go, we're on our way to Mykonos. Boom, our ship gets an SOS signal. So we have to turn around and go towards the SOS signal. The SOS signal is a tiny little ship full of refugees that has broken down in the middle of the Mediterranean. So basically, and another ship had already gone there to help take all the people off of the little tiny ship. It was, y'all, it was so small. I have a video of it somewhere, but it's literally like, so our giant cruise ship had to sit there for like 2 hours to block the wind so that they could get all the people safely onto this other ship from this little, but it was so small. The ship that all these people were on that had gone bad, it was like a little sailboat. It had like the little sailboat arm thing. All these people were getting on it, and it was wild like how many people were on that ship. There were so many people. They just kept pulling them out from under the deck and bringing them over to the other ship. And it was intense. It was very intense. That coffee is ice cold. But yeah, so because we did that, we couldn't make it to Mykonos. We diverted and went to a different little town in Greece that was closer. But, which is funny because that town doesn't have anybody that shows up on that day. So all of the people got notifications that worked there at the shops and stuff that there was a ship coming like that morning. And they're like, oh, we got to go open our stores. Because they usually don't work that day because usually nobody's there. But yeah, that was really funny. But so that was the second time, and we couldn't go to Mykonos because of that, which is fine. Like I'm all for helping people instead of going to Mykonos. But I was still like, dang it, I should have gone last week. And I was like, but that's okay. There's still one more. There's still one more Mykonos. It'll be fine. And we didn't go because it was too windy. We couldn't port in Mykonos the third time because it was too windy. Because it was starting to become winter. and it gets really windy in the Mediterranean in the winter. Rainy and windy. So Mykonos slipped by. I was very sad. We didn't go. I didn't get to go because I didn't go the first day. Santorini was one of the best sports ever. I freaking loved this place. Oh my gosh. So gorgeous. Crete, Olympia. Oh, this is where we went. This was the port we went to instead of Mykonos. Katakalan, where Olympia is. I didn't go to Olympia. I was tired. I was like, you know what? It's fine. And it was just like a bunch of... It looks like this. I think at that point I was like, I've seen so many ruins. I've been ruined out. Corfu was okay. It was an okay island. Not as cool as the other islands. Italy. Now they're getting to Venice. Trieste? I don't know. Italy. Slovenia. Croatia. I really wish we could have gone to Dubrovnik. In Dubrovnik, y'all, they filmed Game of Thrones stuff. So if you like Game of Thrones, go to Dubrovnik and look around. Kotor, Montenegro. I loved this port. This port we were only in for one day, and it was a very short day. I was very sad, but it was so beautiful. The mountains and everything. I was like, ugh. And there's tons of cats everywhere, too. Tons of cats in Kotor. Loved that place. Malta, another place we only were at one day. Not enough time to see everything. So I was sad about that. We like went on this little bus tour that went into town and went all the way around all the stuff and then came back out, and I was like, all right, well, at least I got to see everything really fast. But that's the thing with this, right? Is that like that's the only way these people are going to get to see these places. They're only going to see them very quickly and not for very long. So let's see how long they're in all these ports, yeah? Let's see. So, in all these little islands. Okay, they're there pretty much all day. That's nice, at least. They get there at 8 a.m. every day, and they leave at least after 5 each day. Except for Bari, Italy. They leave at 3. That's not bad. That's not bad, honestly. Dubrovnik and all these, yeah, they're there till 6 p.m. from 8 a.m. That's amazing. I wish we had had that much time in Kotor. I think we got in at like 10 a.m. and we had to leave at like 2 or 3. It wasn't enough time. Not at all. Sicily. Naples. Ugh. The pizza in Naples, y'all. Ungodly. Amazing. Also, my last day there, I found a really good all-you-could-eat sushi place. So I had all-you-can-eat sushi. It was really good. That's the thing about Europe. For some reason, in Greece, in Italy, in Spain, all-you-can-eat sushi places are quite easy to find, and they're amazing. So if you get tired of Greek food, I don't know why you would necessarily, unless you did what I did and were there for like 3 weeks or for 6 months. Get you some sushi. All-you-can-eat sushi. Okay, and then they go to the Colosseum in Rome. Yes. Then they do Florence and Pisa in one day. I don't like that. Florence and Pisa are kind of close to each other, but not really. And there's so much to see in Florence. I would not want to do Florence and Pisa in the same day. Pisa doesn't take a lot of time, to be fair. All you do is go look at the building that's not standing up straight. I had some really good pizza in Pisa, though. Florence, though, like, you want to spend a whole day there. At least one whole day there. You got to go see the, what is it, the Academy dell'Arte or whatever that has the statue of David. You want to go to the other one, the other gallery. I'm trying Uffizi Gallery, I think is what it's called, that has the Venus painting and a bunch of other really amazing stuff. You want to go see the bridge. You want to go see the Duomo. There's like so much to do in Florence that even just one day, not really enough to do it. I did crunch together the Uffizi Gala and the Academy dell'Arte in one go, but it was really fast and pretty smushed together. And then trying to put Pisa on that as well. How long are they there? That just seems like not enough time, y'all, to do everything. Like, pick one or the other, right? Wait, which day are they there? July 2nd. Okay. They are there until 10 p.m. To be fair, they're there from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. It is doable. That's just a lot. That's a lot to do in one day. Ugh. And that's only if you do like one or two things in Florence. Because it takes pretty good long amount of time to go through the Uffizi Gallery. Am I saying that right? Hold on. Uffizi Gallery, yeah. Yeah, that's the one with the Venus. Uffizi. And they're kind of far apart. It's like a 20-minute walk from the real David to Uffizi Gallery. Because there's a fake David in the plaza next to the Uffizi Gallery, but that's not the real David. And then Portofino, Ajaccio. We went to Ajaccio a lot. It was one of our main ports of call in the in our cruise. It's okay. It's where Napoleon was born. We went there on Mondays, and that's the day that the museum for Napoleon was always closed. So we never got to go to that. You know, whatever. But yeah. It was fine. It's a nice little place. The beach at Ajaccio is really pretty. That was definitely one of the nicer beaches in the Mediterranean. Like, if you want to go to a beach in the Mediterranean, good luck. But Ajaccio, yes, that's one of the places you can find it. We went to Cannes. I still don't even know how to pronounce this properly. Cannes. We never went during the film. I never went during the film festival. I know some people who did go during the film festival because it was, when I was working on the cruise ship, it wasn't the time. It didn't ever align with the actual film festival when I went. But I know some people who worked this cruise ship line have gone during the film festival. There was a yacht festival once. That wasn't as exciting. We did go to the building where the film festival was and like take pictures in front of it. The food there, y'all. The food there is so good. It's so expensive. Like the Ajaccio and Cannes were like the most expensive food wise. It was so good. It was so good. Nice. I think it's Nice, France. We did we planned so many times to go to Nice and or what was the other place that's right there? Oh, what's that city that's right there? It's like the smallest country in the world. Hold on. It's like right next to it. Where is it? It's like right here. Monaco. We made so many plans to go to Monaco from Cannes. The problem with Cannes is that it is a what is known as a tender port, which means you can't. The ship is too big to dock, right? So the ship has to anchor. And then you got to get on these little tender boats that are like the lifeboats. And you go from the tender boats to the port. and they go back and forth and take people back and forth that way. It's a pain in the ass. It takes forever. You have to put in so much extra brain capacity to plan on getting back on the ship on time, because they don't care if you're on the tender or in line for the tender when it's time for the crew to be back on board. They don't care. If you're late swiping your card in at the ship, you'll get in trouble. And a lot of trouble. Usually. Depends on how security feels that day. But you can get in a lot of trouble. But they're like, if you're like, well, I was here on time, but then it took 30 minutes to get to the ship from the tender. They're like, should have been here earlier. They don't care. So, and also, Collins was like a really short port. We were there from like 6 a.m. until like 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. It was really short. So if we wanted to get to Monaco, we had to take the first crew tender, which in the morning, the very first tender before even passengers get off. Sometimes they'll allow crew to get off depending on what's going on. So you had to get on that first crew tender, get on a taxi, go straight there. Then you could spend maybe about 40 minutes there and then come all the way back. Like, it was not really worth it, honestly, because Monaco is one of the most expensive places like in the world. So yeah. That's interesting. It's not even on this itinerary. I feel like it's perfect for this itinerary because it's bougie, super bougie. So Nice, Provence, Palma de Mallorca. This was another one of our stops. I loved Palma. It had a huge mall. So if you needed to go shopping for anything, it was literally right there. It's like a 5 to 10 minute walk to the mall. It's perfect. Palma was great. I loved Palma. It was beautiful. Although there was one day when I got off in Palma and it was very hot. It was so hot that I walked off the ship and almost turned right back around and walked back on the ship. It was so hot. It was like literally walking into a convection oven. I was like, why is it so hot here? That was the thing I was most surprised about the Mediterranean. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be in Texas heat during the summer. It's going to be great. Y'all, it was so freaking hot there. It was ridiculous. And then 2 days in Barcelona. Barcelona was another one of our stops. It was amazing. All right, so that's the Mediterranean cruise portion. Ugh. I feel like I'm full, you know, like it feels like that's so much stuff. Oh my goodness. Ultimate Europe and Beyond cruise. All right. So we're doing all the Spain stops. Barcelona, Valencia, Cartagena, Malaga, Casablanca. Ooh, going to Morocco. Casablanca, fancy. Morocco. Lisbon. We were in Lisbon. This was our only overnight we had was in Lisbon, and it was amazing. We had to get there early, so we skipped. We were supposed to go to Malaga and Valencia. We skipped those to get to Lisbon because apparently they were the pilots for not airline pilots, but the pilots for the cruise ships stuff specifically was where they were about to go on strike. So we had to get our ship into the port before they went on strike. Otherwise, we weren't going there. And it was a more important port to be in than the other ports because it was the starting of the transatlantic cruise. So we had to be there. Lisbon was amazing. I loved it. I wish I could go back. One of my friends lives there actually, so I got to meet up with them. That was really cool. The food there was it was literally something else. Like, I can't even... The food there was top tier. Out of this world. Amazing. Portugal, another Portugal port. Cool. Spain, Sea Day. Ireland, they get to go to Ireland. That's cool. Sea Day. France. Ooh, Paris. They get to be in Paris for 2 days. That's pretty cool. Southampton. So Southampton is like the cruise port for England. So, but it is kind of far away from everything. That's the thing that sucks about it. It's down here at the bottom. So London's way over here. And there's not a lot around it, unfortunately. So like they can probably go into London and do a couple things there, but probably not a whole lot. I wonder how long they're there. How long are they there in Southampton? They arrive on July 26th. And they arrive at 6 a.m. and they don't leave until 7 p.m. So that's not bad. That's a good amount of time to be there. Probably enough time to go into London and do something. Because I think it's like... It's like 2-hour drive. I mean... So that's 4 to 5 hours round trip. Yeah, that gives you a few hours. Yeah, that gives you enough time, I think. At least like 4 or 5 hours, right? 6 a.m. But you gotta leave early. Gotta leave right at 6 a.m. Get out there. And then you get to go to Bruges. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Bruges in Belgium. Sea Day, Denmark. Berlin, Sea Day. Latvia, Estonia, Finland. Oh, this is all the beautiful like Netherlands type areas. Sweden, 2 days in Stockholm, Sweden, and then Visby and Klaipeda. I'm not sure how to say that properly. Lithuania, Denmark, Germany, Denmark again, Norway. So many Norways, y'all. They're going all throughout Norway. These pictures look gorgeous, though. Man. Then a sea day. Amsterdam. 3 sea days. Reykjavik for 2 days. See, that's not bad. 2 days there. And then sea day, then Greenland. Sea day, Greenland. Ooh, a sea day in between Greenlands because it's so big, probably. 2 sea days, and then back to Newfoundland, back to the northern North Americas. Then 2 sea days in New York for 2 days. Sea day, Royal Naval Dockyard, Bermuda. See, this is the way to do the transatlantic, y'all. Stopping in Greenland and then Newfoundland. That's the way it should be. You want to know how we did it? Hold on, I'll show you how we did it. It was garbage. We went all the way around here to Lisbon. And then can't even see these islands that we were supposed to have gone to. They're so small. Okay, there's some islands like over here that you can't see because they're too small, I guess. Or was it just these? I think it was just these. The point. I know we were supposed to stop at Ponta Delgada. So we're supposed to go from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada. It was too stormy, so we couldn't stop there. So we just kept going. And it was around here that the anchor smashed a hole in the ship. And then we kept going. And we were supposed to stop in Bermuda. So we literally go from here all the way to Bermuda. And they're like, no, it's too stormy. We can't go to Bermuda. So we're like, too stormy. And then we just made our way back to New York. So we literally spent 5 days doing nothing. I think it ended up being 6 actually total. And then finally getting into New York. That sucked. That sucked a big old booty hole. So the way to do the transatlantic is definitely by going up and doing this and coming back down this way. That's definitely the way to do it. Oh my God. Never again. I never ever want to do that transatlantic crossing ever again. If it comes like this, sure, but not if it's going straight across from Lisbon to New York. Never again, please. So New York for 2 days, sea day, Bermuda, sea day, the perfect day at the Coco Cay, Bahamas. That's the place they started off at, basically, and then back to Miami, and that's it. So, I mean, obviously some of this is more obvious than others. It's so much shoved into I say so little time. It's still 9 months. This is still 9 months, but every single port is only a day. Most of them, asterisk, most ports are still only 1 day. On a big cruise like this, on like a 9-month cruise, I would expect it to be a little calmer. Like it would probably be better if they went to less ports and spent more time in each individual port. I understand like port fees why that's a little more difficult, because it's a lot more difficult to do overnight than it is. It's more expensive to do like an overnight than it is to move to the next port and just pay the port fees in the next port and then go to the next port. It's way more expensive to stay overnight than it is just to move on and go to the next one. Even though you're paying 2 separate fees. Like it's weird. The way it works is really wonky. They don't want you to, the ports don't want the ships to stay there for very long. That's the thing. The way they get money is by having people come in and out, in and out. They don't want a ship to stay there for 3 days. So they charge crazy amounts of money if you want to stay there for longer. So I understand why they don't, but that would be much more preferable, in my opinion, than doing like a different port every single day for 9 months, you know? Whew. Because I feel like at some point, it would just be overstimulating. You would get to be like, it's the next day and you like don't remember the last 3 days. Like, right? Like it would be like, wait, we were just in Greece. Now we're in Belgium. What happened to the last 5 days? I feel like that's something that would happen to me at least. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then some of these ports, like you don't get a lot of time. Like the fact that you only get 1 day in Machu Picchu, and it's going, one of the day before that is going to be like 20 hours of travel to get to Machu Picchu. And then the next day you only get like maybe 5 or 6 hours in Machu Picchu before you gotta fly back to Lima. I don't know. That's a lot. And people are already sick of each other after 10 days of this. I think it's gonna get bad. I think they're gonna have some interesting, it's gonna be an interesting social experiment for sure. Like to see what happens with these people when they're stuck on the same ship for 9 months with most of the same people. Not everybody did the whole thing. That's the thing. Not everybody did the entire cruise. Yeah. It's interesting. I'll have to see. Well, I'm gonna keep following this. I'm gonna see what happens with the rest of this. Yeah. It's been very interesting to me because I was like, oh, I've worked on a cruise ship. I kind of want to see what their itinerary is and what the plans are for each thing. I'm just like 9 months. I spent 7 months on a cruise and I was ready to go home. I was like, get me the F out of here. I want to go home. 9 months. Ugh. And they're so expensive. I was like, because maybe I could see myself doing one leg. Like doing the European one would be really cool. Doing the Asian one would be really cool. I wouldn't do the Mediterranean one because I've already done the Mediterranean. And I feel like I wouldn't be getting my money's worth because I've already been. I would love to go again, but who am I kidding? I'm not spending 20 grand on one of these anyway. I don't have the money for that. But wow. Ooh, full FAQ. Let's see what the full FAQ is. What benefits are included when booking the Ultimate Cruise or one of the 4 cruise segments? Yeah, that's the thing we got. But it still says, I want to know more about this. Our Crown and Anchor Society guests who hold platinum status and above will also receive the exclusive benefit included excursions to the 7 new wonders. I want to know more about this. I want to know if it's possible to buy the whole world cruise and not get this. Because the way they're stating it, it sounds like that's true. But maybe it's also just, it could also be including like, no, because it's Ultimate Rule Cruise. I don't know. That's interesting to me. I want to know more about that. What will the drinking age be? It's going to be 21. They follow the rules of the United States, y'all. Right. 21. Yep. It is 18 unless the home port's legal drinking age is higher than 18. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Departing from the United States, Canada, or United Arab on sailings departing from the Caribbean, South America, Europe, Asia, and New Zealand, it is 18. Interesting. On the cruise ship I worked on, it was 21. Period. Interesting, though. Oh, logistics. We had some questions about logistics. Will I receive the same stateroom for my entire duration of my world cruise? Or hopefully? I would assume so. Yeah, entirety of booking. Yeah. If I'm booked on the Ultimate Cruise, can I upgrade for a portion? Interesting. When can I book shore excursions? This one I want to know. Oh, see, they don't even have them bookable yet for... Oh, yeah, they do. Now they're all bookable. They just came out at different times. Our team has been meticulously curating special shore excursions. Do they have learn more? Do they have the list of shore excursions? Can I see that? No, it just takes me back here. God dang it. I want to see what the excursions are and how much they cost. I see we're going to Africa during the Ultimate. Will you offer an African safari shore excursion? Yes. Okay. That's such a specific question. Why are the Ultimate World Cruise and the 4 cruise segments offered as non-refundable? What? Our Ultimate World Cruise and 4 Ultimate segments are a unique adventure that has never been offered by Royal Caribbean. We want to ensure our guests who are committed to sharing this experience will receive priority placement. To preserve this unique experience, all sailings aboard the seas from December 10th, 2020 to September 10th, 2024 will be offered exclusively non-refundable. That's interesting because the shore excursions aren't available to purchase yet. Oh. That's weird because they're already on them. They're already on the... It's already started. Maybe just some of them aren't available yet? I don't know. That's weird. But this is interesting to me because... So it started on December 10th, right? That's when they that's when they left from Miami. What I had heard was... before what happened is when they first came out with this idea, they had it was only the Ultimate World Cruise. You couldn't buy the segments, right? And it was super expensive, obviously. So, but nobody was buying. Like they got to a point where Royal Caribbean was like, "There's not enough people. There's not enough people to be on this ship." To fill it up, to even get close to filling it up, we have to do something else so that more people will buy the tickets, or more people will buy a ticket, because they were not selling enough. So then they started offering the segments. And people who had already purchased the big long one were mad because if you bought the individual segments, it was cheaper than buying the whole world cruise, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, wouldn't you offer a discount if you bought the whole world cruise instead of buying it in segments? But people were pissed because they spent so much money on the whole world cruise, and then they were like, oh, maybe they changed their minds. Maybe like, oh, I only want this. I actually really want to only do these two. And now that I can pick that, I'm going to do it because it's cheaper. Or they were like, I'm going to... So a lot of people were refunding the full one and then buying the segments instead because they were cheaper. And that's why a lot of those people... That's what... I know, Joe! Isn't that crazy? I was like, what? So a lot of people were refunding it and then buying the segments instead. And then a lot of those people are super pissed on the ship now because the people who bought the whole thing, or who still have the tickets for the whole thing, are getting preferential treatment. The people that bought the segments. So the people that bought the segments are really pissed because they're being treated as like second class citizens on this like Titanic, essentially. Like that's crazy. What? So it's interesting now that it's all non-refundable. Like, I think that's really funny. Oh my. Okay, here's the Crown and Anchor thing. As a Crown and Anchor Society member, I feel like I have to say it like that. As a Crown and Anchor Society member, am I entitled to discounts or additional benefits on the Ultimate World Cruise and Ultimate Cruise segments? Yes, members who achieve platinum status and above by June 14th, 2023 will enjoy the exclusive benefit of complimentary shore excursions to the 7 new world wonders if booked on the Ultimate World Cruise 180 days before the sailing date. Holy shit. Status must also be achieved 180 days before the sailing date. And all of our Crown and Anchor Society. So, wow. So yeah, if you decided to buy the whole package and it's the first time you've ever done anything with Royal Caribbean, you're not going to get those free 7 excursions. You're not going to get that. You're only going to get that if you're already a platinum status member. You can't achieve platinum status by purchasing the entire world cruise. What? That's fucking wild, dude. You could spend 60 grand on this thing and still have to pay for the excursions to the 7. What? Hell, you could spend $760,000 and still not get the excursions for free. If you weren't a platinum member before. What? For our Diamond Plus and Pinnacle guests, there will be single supplement discount available. Additionally, double points will be awarded to all suite guests sailing on the Ultimate World Cruise, as well as suite guests sailing on the individual Ultimate Cruise segments. Holy shit. So I was like, okay, you buy the whole thing, you get the free new World Wonders excursions. Nope. Only if you were a platinum member 180 days before the sailing date. Which means you had to spend a lot of money already with Royal Caribbean before you bought their $500,000 cruise package. What the fuck? That's crazy. In this economy? Jesus Christ. I did traditionally book through Next Cruise. Will the Ultimate World Cruise and the Ultimate be available to book on board? I don't know. Crown and Anchor escapes. What are the... Wait a minute. Crown and Anchor Society escapes are thoughtfully curated immersive adventures exclusively for guests of the entire Ultimate World Cruise. Wait a second. Hold up. So all of the ones, there's not a lot of them, but all of these here The only people who can enjoy getting off in these ports are the people who bought the full world cruise. So there's going to be I think there was like 5 or so of these. I don't know what year it is. That's okay. That's okay. So these specific ones are only for the people who bought the whole cruise. If you did not buy the whole cruise, you can't get off in these ports. What? What the fuck? That's how I'm reading it. Thoughtfully curated immersive adventures exclusively for guests of the entire Ultimate World Cruise, where we will celebrate together each segment of this once-in-a-lifetime adventure with 4 incredible... Okay, so there's 4 incredible complimentary experiences around the world. What we sell in AJ... Hey, AJ, we're looking at this Royal Caribbean 9-month world cruise. It's wild. It officially started 10 days ago, left from Miami 10 days ago. It's already, there's been insane drama that I've seen on TikTok from like, all of these people who, booked the cruise. Some of them, because you can book the whole cruise for 9 months, the whole shebang. Or you can book like the segments, like, oh, the South American one, oh, the Mediterranean one, oh, the Asian one. You can pick the different ones. Apparently, like, there's like already a caste system on board where like the full package people are being treated as better than the segmented people. And like, it's a whole thing. It's wild. It's also insanely expensive. These are just the prices for the segments. The old VIPs, then. Yeah, exactly. These are, so if you just wanted the Ultimate America's Cruise, it is almost $1,400 per person. $14,000 per person. And then, like, if you want to do the whole thing, the interior stateroom, which is the cheapest, is $60,000 for the whole thing. All the way up to I believe it was $760,000 for the most expensive balcony staterooms. Like, what? And then I've just discovered that because like we were looking at these, like what the perks were and everything, and like one of the things we found was like, oh, if you book the whole world cruise, you get the excursions to the world wonders for free. But no, you only get them if you were already a member of this Crown and Anchor thing society, which, and it can Crown and Anchor platinum status, not just regular. You have to be platinum status before you got the free stuff. Like, that's crazy. Oh, onboard experience. Oh, there's a lot FAQ about onboard experience. So yeah, it's been, we went through the entire itinerary, and it's a lot in such a short amount of time. It's kind of crazy. And like some of the places are going free, not even free stuff for $760K if you were already a platinum member before you booked this cruise. I don't know how much money you have to spend to become a platinum member, but I'm guessing it's already a lot. So you already have had to spend tons of money on Royal Caribbean, then purchase the full, be a platinum member, then purchase the full price, which at minimum is 60 grand. And then if you do that, you get the excursions, not all the excursions for free, just the excursions to the New World Wonders, which there's 7 in this cruise. 7. You get all those for free. Oh my God. What? Will the entertainment vary? This is a really good question. So this is something else that I haven't really touched on at all. But when I worked on a cruise ship, we had, I worked on 2 specific shows, theater shows. Like, instance, for the last ship I worked on, it was the Bliss, which we had, what's it called? We had, hey, Tappy, I'm talking about cruise ship drama. I'm gonna buy a tent, sell the house. I know, right? How you doing, Tappy? Thank you for the likes. So we had, on the Bliss, we had 2 shows. We had Jersey Boys and Six. 2 Broadway style shows, right? And we did those shows like twice, like we did 2 shows, or wait, 2 days of shows for each show. So we had 4 shows of each one a week, right? So that's 8 shows in total for the week. But they were all done like the first 2 days of the cruise, the last 2 days of the cruise. Like, that's kind of, it was all spread out, right? So that people could go see it if they wanted, so that if they had to miss the first day, they didn't have to miss the second day. All that. You're hungry, making lunch. Oh, I should probably be making lunch. I'm so bad at eating lunch, you guys. I don't eat. I eat breakfast and then I forget, like I'm doing right now, and it's like, oh, it's almost 2 p.m. and I haven't eaten anything since the cereal I had. But yeah, so that's the thing. These people are going to be on the ship for 9 months, right? What? These people are going to be on the ship for 9 months. You're going to have different shows, right? Like, you can't have the same show for 9 months. People aren't gonna, that's not gonna fly. The poor trivia people, like the cruise staff people who do like trivia and stuff, they can't reuse any of their trivia questions. Maybe after like 3 months they probably could, because then people forget after so many months. But like, you can't, you're not gonna be able to do that, you know? It's gonna suck for entertainment. Like, the entertainment on board, I would not want to work on this ship. Oh my god. It'd be cool to go to the places, not gonna lie there, but once again, you're not going to the same places over and over again though, so you're just going to one place and the next day another place, and it's too much. It's too much too fast. Okay. Entertainment. I want to know about this one. Nobody does entertainment quite like we do. We have an exciting entertainment lineup for you that will spotlight local entertainers and unique performances. Interesting. So maybe they're going to hire new entertainers for every single... Oh, I don't like this. What is this? Get out of here. Oop. No, I don't want to remove that. What is this thing? Get that out of here. Yeah, I don't use Streamloots anymore. Just going off in the corner. Yeah, so I guess they're probably going to hire new entertainment people for each segment and hire people from the area that they're going to be going through. That's interesting. That's very different. Hold on. Will the crew change over while I'm aboard? Probably. Yeah. Our onboard crew will change based on market and shipboard requirements. Yeah. God. Imagine being on that cruise working for 9 months. Ugh. That's the thing, though. I was doing the entertainment version of the cruise, right? Of cruise ship work, which is a lot more chill, a lot more relaxed than some of the other like positions on board. Like, some of those people who work like in the engine, in the galley and stuff like that, they work for 12 months out of the year. Like, they work for a whole year and then take like 2 months off and then work for another whole year. Like, some of those people have to work a long time, and that sucks. I would not want to do that. Oh, how do I get medication? That's a good question. We recommend traveling with your required medication, and ports we will visit will have pharmacies. You should need them during your cruise. Yeah. Tell your doctor you need a boost, and you need a 9-month supply of whatever you have to take. Oh my goodness. Ooh. If I'm on... I'll catch you later. Bye, Tappy. Thanks for popping in. When will I get to collect my duty-free items? I guess when you leave. Thanks for the share. I guess when you leave is what I would guess. Until the end, yeah. It means if you buy a bottle of alcohol duty-free, you cannot use it until you get back home after 9 months. Religious services. While we do try to book priests for our Christmas and Easter sailings, we are not able to guarantee that a priest is on board for all of our sailings. We will try to book a rabbi on board for Jewish high holidays, Hanukkah and Passover, and in the absence of a rabbi booked by Royal Caribbean International, the ship will ask for volunteers to conduct the Seder service on the first night of Passover. We will also offer special dinners for Christmas, Hanukkah, and Passover. Interesting. All right, well, that's a lot, you guys. We talked a lot about this. That's probably... I feel like I've exhausted this for now. If you haven't seen like the some of the TikToks and stuff about it, I wonder if I can like pull that up. Hold on. Let me like pull it up off camera real quick. Hold on. TikTok is so loud. Turn my sounds down. That's the thing. I hate bringing TikTok up in the browser. It's always terrible. Because it's so loud. Where can I look at my liked videos? Hold on. Hey, Frosty. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? Let's see here. Where can I look at the videos I liked? Probably view profile. There we go. Because I can pull up some of these videos I saw about the world cruise. This one was pretty good. This is from a guy. Let me give you his info here. This is Christian M. Hull on TikTok. I want to give him proper credit for posting this. Here, let me... Yeah? My cat is meowing at me. What? He coming in. I have another cat too, you guys. She's in there. They're new to each other, so we've been keeping them separated to try and introduce them properly, and it's been a ride. It's been a whole ride. Okay. All right, here. Let's watch this guy. He kind of explains it a bit.
TikTok flooded with this cruise line drama. It's so fascinating. So these people bought tickets to go on this cruise for 9 months. They basically live on the boat. And it's not cheap. I think it was about 200,000. I think American. Don't quote me on that. I've seen so many. Like, it's literally when I swipe, I go regular person's TikTok, and then I go someone talking about the cruise. Then I go someone who's
200,000 is a low estimate, honestly.
Drama. I believe one of the passengers,
what are you doing?
Brandy,
She just hopped up here.
who's dark-skinned, came on to say that she gets asked if she is staff.
This was something I brought up at the beginning of my live.
They're like, oh, how did you afford this? The way my jaw dropped, because all I'm thinking is she's trapped on a boat with these people.
That's the thing too, that like is a very unfortunate part of cruise life, right? Is that cruises are kind of expensive, right? They're not like, this cruise is ridiculously expensive because it's so long, but even like the segments are super expensive. But like, there are so many white people on cruise ships. And unfortunately, a lot of them are, even while not being outwardly purposefully racist, They are the level of white people that are just like a little too privileged, a little too rich, not super rich, but just rich enough to say shit like this, where they see a black woman, assume she's staff, and then when they find out she's not staff, she's actually there on the cruise to enjoy it just like they are. Hey, what are you doing? Cat. Say hi. Good girl. What? Oh, now she wants to walk on my desk and be a pain. Yeah, but unfortunately, that once they find out she's there enjoying herself just like they are, they're like, oh, how did you afford it? Bitch, the same way you did. I have money. Like, seriously. Like, who? But that's the unfortunate thing, is that that's exactly the main demographic of people who are on cruise ships. It's slightly older, slightly richer, not like super rich usually, but more wealthy white people. And unfortunately, a lot of those people, they're like the people who are like, oh, I don't see color. You know, they're the people who are like, they say they're not racist, but it's like, you need to learn some stuff about what is appropriate to say, what's not appropriate to say. I could go on and on about that, but that is definitely the demographic mostly of people who are on cruise ships. No, she's trying to get up on my desk that has all my rocks on it. No, can't get on my rock desk. You will knock it over and knock all my rocks over. She's being a butt. I'm not giving her enough attention, so now she's being needy. Why are you being needy? Come here. But she doesn't want to just sit in my lap and get pets. Oh no. Okay, well, let's continue this video.
People for 9 months. Then I literally slide. I go down, 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 and then there's this like T channel that's dedicated to all the drama that's going on this cruise line.
Why are you stealing my
And apparently
sucker?
what happened is they didn't sell many of the tickets, so they dropped the price, and then the people that had originally bought tickets they were like, oh, what? So they got refunded, and then they bought a different set of tickets, and now they're on the boat, and now because they bought a different set of tickets, they weren't allowed to see the Northern Lights, something like that. There's so much. It's the most riveting content I've ever seen. Like, if someone's talking about the 9-month cruise, I watch from start to finish all the shit that is going on, because it is fascinating to me. What's even more exciting is we have 9 months of this. We have 9 months of this. This isn't like Netflix has dropped all 9 episodes that you binge watch in a night. No, we have 9 months of this cruise line series. And it's all playing out in real time. Is anyone else's TikTok flooded with this?
So this is one of the many TikToks I've seen about it before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get on stream and talk about it because I worked on a cruise ship. I want to kind of talk about it. It seems very interesting. Tappy shared it to our little Discord group. What are you doing? No. That. It's cats. There's like, I'm trying to keep them separated for the most part, but I'm also trying to like leave them the ability to see each other and active and talk to each other for certain amounts of time. Anyway, yeah, so that was one of the first ones I saw about it. There's like, I don't know, it's just wild. Oh, and if you guys want to see the what one of the loft suites looks like, this is like one of the 760 grand like rooms that you get on this 9-month cruise. This is the high end. This is the most expensive. Like, it's crazy. This is an insane room. It's got an upstairs and everything. Up here. Yeah. Another cat. Oh. Little baby cat. We just adopted this one. She was hanging around outside of our apartment for a whole month, so we finally brought her in. Oh, she's purring. Let's see her. Here we go. Yeah, this room's insane. It's got upstairs. It's got a huge window and balcony. Like, that's crazy. It's got a second bathroom. There's no reason to have 2 bathrooms. Like, that's a full bath. It's got a full bath and a half bath. Well, technically 2 full baths because the bathroom downstairs has a shower. Like, that's crazy. There's no reason for that. And that's the thing, too, that sucks is, like, if they didn't have a room like this size, they could have fit 3 more rooms. And then made it a little cheaper, maybe? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, that's nuts. What was another one? Did I have another one that was really good? About the cruise ship. Oh, yes, this one. This one's good.
So, I have got some gossip for yous. I have had some intel that the Pinnacle members
and this person is UK Secret
Cruise
Travel
are being
their
treated
TikTok.
very different to the rest of the guests. So what I found out is initially when people booked this cruise back in like 2022 or something like that, they were told that all they could do was buy a ticket for the entirety of the cruise or for one individual segment at a time. So for example, if someone wanted to get on in Miami and do the Americas and then do half of Asia, that wasn't possible. They had to only do Americas or Asia or pay for the 2 of them at the same time altogether. The Serenade of the Sea fits on 2,500 people at maximum capacity. And what they haven't told us is this ship actually only has around 1,500 people on right now because they haven't sold out. They haven't sold all the tickets, and only 700 of those people, so half of those people, are the ones doing the whole 9-month journey. So what Royal Caribbean started to do was they started to panic and think, oh my god, there's going to be no one on this ship. So they started to sell the segments for a lot cheaper. That then made people look and go, hold on, I've just spent X amount of money on this cruise when what I could do is I could cancel my booking and then I could rebook in segments and it would cost a lot less. And if they were members, they would still get the perks and the benefits. So they'd still get the Wi-Fi and the laundry and things like that and the drinks packages. They'd still get that and they were paying a lot less. So a lot of people started to do that. But where I've got my information from is a person who is not happy about what has been going on this ship. They've said that the Pinnacle members have been treated completely different. They have been invited to meetings and town halls, which other guests haven't been invited to. And things that are going on in these meetings are affecting the ship. So last week they had a meeting which spoke about seeing the Northern Lights from the boat. And the Pinnacle members got to see that, but the other guys didn't.
See, this is what I'm confused about, though. They're not in the place to see the Northern Lights, so I'm not sure. I think there's a misunderstanding about what they got to see versus, because it definitely wasn't the Northern Lights. They're in the Caribbean, so I'm not sure what it was that they got to see instead. But it's not it wasn't the Northern Lights.
On that. And that's a once in a lifetime thing. So, you know, you're spending a lot of money on a cruise and you're getting left out by the company who you've bought it off. So I would not be very happy about that. Another thing is a lot of the guests on board, specifically the segmenters, are getting pissed off already after 10 days. They're getting really pissed off. Royal Caribbean and how they are treating these sort of platinum members a lot better, and also treating the world cruisers better than the segmenters. They're doing everything they can to make sure that the Royal Cruise members are happy, content, comfortable, which you should do with everyone that is on the ship, especially when they're paying that amount of money. But no, there's a real divide. So with the segmenters, I overheard something that they had to queue up to get on board for 3.5 hours, whereas the Pinnacle members could just walk on in front of everyone.
That's pretty crazy.
Source did arrange a meeting with senior staff, but has heard nothing back from them to discuss these issues on board. There's also
queuing up to get on the ship, taking 3 hours is pretty crazy.
So champagne parties and things like that. There's also separate group chats going on, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, things like that. And a lot of the segmenters are not being allowed into these groups because they're not doing the full stretch. So they're missing out on a lot of things. So think about it. There's a lot of solo travelers on there. They've turned up on their own. They're trying to make friends, and these people are ostracizing them. And they're literally like, no, you can't sit with us type of thing. Very mean girls, very school playground sort of thing. A few people have had run-ins on the ship already. So, you know, we've heard that there's not going to be any drama. There might not be drama with a certain amount of people who are showing us what they want us to see. But there's going to be drama somewhere, and there already has been drama. And people have already left the ship as well. Some of them for medical reasons, and I don't know what other reasons. But yeah, people have left the ship, so I'm going to cross that off on the bingo card. Most people on the ship are welcoming and well-travelled, and, you know, they're outgoing and willing to converse with others. But there's...
Yeah, it's so basically there's just like a really weird like vibe, I guess, of the ship, and them like some people are cool, some people aren't, but like, yeah. And it's super common for people to leave cruise ships because of health reasons, because like I said before, a lot of the people on the cruise ship are going to be old people who are retired already. That's a thing that you'll see a lot. Oop, my light flew down. That's a thing you'll see a lot in cruise ship life in general. You'll have old people who are there who are retired, and they'll die on the ship, or they'll get too sick on the ship and have to leave. Like, that's very common. That's super common to have people leave because of health reasons. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure what else we can cover for now. We looked over at the whole itinerary. We looked at like some of the ridiculous excursions and how difficult they're going to be to get to them. Like the Machu Picchu one, that sounds horrendous. Oh, but yeah. So we looked at pretty much this whole thing. There's going to be more drama, definitely coming out about this. I'm assuming it's going to be 9 months of drama for the whole time. I'm excited. There are some people who are on the ship, some like influencers and stuff, who are on the ship now. You could probably find them pretty easy on TikTok. I don't know any specifically besides that one lady. You could probably follow her. Hold on, let me find her stuff. The one lady who unfortunately got mistaken for staff, which is horrible. Hold on. Let me find her TikTok handle, because that would be a good one to share. This poor lady. I just can't imagine. You spend at minimum 60 grand to go on this cruise, and people think you're the fucking staff just because you're black. Like, that sucks. Okay. This woman is I am Brandy Lake. If you want to give her a follow, I'm gonna give her a follow. But this is the woman who had the unfortunate experience of getting mistaken as staff. Hold on, let me I'll show y'all this one too. Oh, if it'll play. TikTok in browser is literally the worst. Hello?
If I get asked if I work on this ship one more time. Started out at the pre-cruise gala.
Oh, she was even on the...
Assumed that I must be working.
That sucks because that means, hold up. It started at the pre-cruise gala, which means she has the full 9-month ticket. She is there for the full 9 months. She definitely 100% spent at minimum 60 grand to be on this ship, and she's getting mistaken for staff. That sucks.
I was not working. Then I was asked, was I independently wealthy? Like, basically, how did you afford this? Now, one of the crew members assumed that I was not a guest when getting back on the ship from an excursion.
That's really bad too, because like for that crew member, you can get in a lot of trouble for doing something like this. Like as crew, it's like the last thing you want to do is assume a guest is not a guest. You know, like you can get in a lot of trouble for that.
It's going to be a long 9 months.
Yeah, she's on the whole 9 months. That sucks. But yeah, she's on the ship for the whole shebang. Hopefully, if she doesn't leave because of all this nonsense happening. But yeah, so if you want to follow somebody who's on the ship, who's already been unfortunately seen some nonsense, I am Brandy Lake. Let me type it in the chat so y'all can that's her username. I'll type it into Twitch chat as well. Give her a follow. I'm guessing she will have some very interesting updates. If not, that's fine too, but that if you are interested in following the craziness that's happening there, she's probably a good one to follow. Hey, what are you doing? I swear to God. What are you doing? Why are you messing? She's trying to eat my copper wire. What? When? It's because I'm not giving her attention, so she has to get into things. Anyway, honestly, I think that's me done for this conversation for now. Yeah, we went through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm probably going to edit this into a YouTube video. It feels like it might be a good YouTube video. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, this is gonna be something big. And somebody was like, I saw a video that was like, get the camera crews in there. We want to see like everything that's happening every day. And I'm like, man, even if they don't get like a film crew in there to go over everything, cruise ships have like cameras, like security cameras everywhere. They are watching everything on cruise ships. There is not a single, barely a single sliver of space that's not covered by a camera on a cruise ship. So at the very least, the true crime documentary that comes out about it is probably going to have all of the footage you need. It'll be great. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think I'm going to be done for now. How are we doing? What's going on with this? Are we in a spot where we can raid somebody? Oh, my cat's trying to push the power button on my computer. She's like, get off. Nah, we're not gonna do no raiding. But thanks everybody for watching me do this. This is a very different from what I normally stream. Dead by Daylight or Hitman or I did Lethal Company the other night. That was really fun. I don't ever do just like talking streams. So thanks for hanging out and watching. It was definitely interesting and fun to do something a little bit different and just to talk about stuff. But yeah, I'm really just gonna end stream here. I'm gonna go ahead and end TikTok first. Bye TikTok. Thanks for watching y'all and liking and sharing the live and talking. I appreciate it. We'll see you TikTok later. All right, bye. Did TikTok end? Yes, end. Okay, TikTok is ended. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and stream. Maybe play some video games next time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be a breaking news. Breaking news. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.